family, you're tuning in to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio. Pardon any technical difficulties as we're recording live on the Zoom platform. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah. Jimmy. Lights, camera, action. Some people thought I quit and I ain't giving satisfaction. From a different era, writing rhymes up on napkins. What you had to say was more important, man, than trapping. Yeah, I'm talking back.
What's good, family, and welcome to another episode of Jimmy Bonds Podcast on Philadelphia Radio. This episode is sponsored by Good Hope Road Studios. I'm your host, Jimmy Bonds, along with my co-host, Ty. T.Y. What's good, Ty? How you feeling?
All good in the neighborhood, JB. Live from the 215.
You know we live from the 215. You know I can't forget my other co-host, lovely Miss Lucy. She's not here with us today, always here with us in spirit. Moving right along, fam. Remember, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Also, family, remember you can follow us on Instagram at Jimmy Bonds Podcast, on Twitter at Podcast Bonds, and make sure you join the Jimmy Bond Podcast Facebook group. Let's continue to open the dialogue. Moving right along, family, tonight, we have a special guest. Someone that is practically like family to us now, family. This woman is phenomenal. I will repeat myself, phenomenal. And you know I got to do an intro on her, so let me do the intro. We can get right to it. All right, family, here we go. Miss Tanya Morris is a native of North Philadelphia and is known in many circles as the Dot Connector. After many years in the nonprofit sector, she started Mom Your Business in 2017. Rather, I'm going to say she founded Mom Your Business in 2017. You'll understand later why I'm using that word. After sustaining growth with Mom Your Business, she also created Founders to Funders in 2021. She is an alumni of DC-based Black Girl Ventures and founder and resident of University City Science Center on-ramp program that connects aspiring entrepreneurs with BizVid programming, which is business development programming. So people that don't understand that, I got you. Cool. Ms. Morris also believes that the Philly entrepreneur ecosystem will grow in considerable amounts to help Black business owners as long as they get the proper funding. And that's real. We all need funding, family. You got a business, you need funding. So she also has an MA certificate in professional and business communication. She also has an MBA in executive leadership. To date, her organization, Mom Your Business, has helped raise over $200,000 for female Black-owned founders and businesses. $200,000, family. And I'm sure it's more now. That's just what I got off of my reading. I'm sure it's much more now. But family, she is an innovator, a public speaker, a networker, an event planner, a pioneer, a student and a teacher, a business founder, a podcaster, and a mom of twin boys. I like to describe her as loving, determined, embracing, motivating, enterprising, perceptive, relatable, and genuine. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Miss Tanya Morris. What's up, Miss Tanya? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Be here. I got to package Jimmy up and have him introduce me everywhere I go. After that introduction.
Well, welcome. Listen, as I say all the time, I don't introduce people that haven't done what I'm saying they do. You have done this. You have exuded all of this. I mean, just reading the press clippings and what people have said about you from the women that you work with, the founders you work with, it has been a phenomenal journey. So before I say a lot in the beginning, I always let Brother Ty ask the first question. Brother Ty, go ahead and do your thing, bro.
Ms. Morris, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, Ty. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Wonderful. So how did Mom Your Business get started? Like what started the engine for you? What kicked it off for you?
You know, really, Ty, I often say this, we've really started by accident. I used to do these tea parties with another colleague of mine. And in 2017, we decided to do something for Mother's Day weekend. And so sitting in the house trying to think what I was going to call it. Landed on "Mom Your Business" was going to be the title. We did a we had this event. We had a panel discussion. We had an all girl band. We watched this film called Dream Girl, which was about entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs in New York City. We had vendors. It was tremendous. Had a great time. And afterwards, a friend of mine who was vending called me and she said, "T, I really think that this is something more than a one time event. You need to kind of like think about what it might be." And that's what we did. We put together a brainstorming session with her and some other folks that were there, and landing on what was our first mission, which was to support mompreneurs by connecting them to resources and opportunities that lead to success in business and in life. And even then, I didn't know what it was going to grow into, but that was really how we got started.
Okay. Now, there's a saying here, from bootstrapping to bankability. That's a
Yes.
classic one right there. Where did that come from?
Yeah, yeah. So that came along after we started Founders to Funders, which is the only Black female led for Black female entrepreneurs business accelerator program in the city of Philadelphia. I'll fight anybody that tries to tell me otherwise, because it's true. And so what we found was that Black women, who are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, yet the least funded, what we found was that we needed resources. We needed capital to grow our businesses. And so in order to do that though, you got to be capital ready to receive that capital. So we really want to take our founders from bootstrapping to being bankable, right? Being investment worthy, and being in a position to receive that capital that could help them to grow their business from where it is to where they want it to be.
Understood, Jimmy.
Well, I'm digging all that. I love business. My mind is wrapped around business all the time. But I wanted to add something because I found a definition of a mompreneur. I found the definition, right?
Uh-oh.
But I mean, I'm gonna give a definition first. But I wanted to get from you how do you define it? Because I can read words on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
right? But how you define it and how you came up with the term is something
Yeah.
different. So let me read it first, and then you can tell me.
Okay.
So a mompreneur is a female active in business, blending family work and a bunch of other stuff. Starting and growing a business is a lot like raising a child. It requires patience, understanding, and nurturing. Both mothers and entrepreneurs are dedicated leaders, detail oriented planners, and boss babes who do what is necessary for greater good.
Yeah.
Explain what is a mompreneur,
Well,
please.
it's just that. That's the definition that we actually came up with, which is a woman who is actively in business, blending life, work, family, and a bunch of other stuff, right? Because
Yeah,
women are often, you know, not just we're going to work all every day, coming home, working at business as we're trying to start it and get off the ground. We're taking care of our family at home,
yeah,
possibly working actively in our community, selling Girl Scout cookies, or, being that soccer mom, taking the kids back and forth to events, doing all of those other things. And, serving in our churches, at our mosques, we're doing all of those other things. And so that's how we actually define a mompreneur.
no doubt. Mompreneur. When I saw that, I was like, yo, I'm digging this. Ty, well, you feel me on that, right? Mompreneur. I
Yes.
mean, it's so creative. It's such a great term. We in society making up terms all the time. They end up in the dictionary. But I thought that was very fitting for the
Yeah.
demographic, the people you serve. Like I just thought it
Yeah,
was very very fitting. So, I mean, with that being said, I often think of business as like having a child. Now, being that biologically I can't have a child, I mean, do you use the analogy? I guess you do, of having a child and giving birth to your business. Is that something that you guys often talk about? Like how you have people in the startup side, they might have the
yeah,
infants, and then you have people that have been doing it for a while. They end up with toddlers, and then people that have been doing it for an extensive long period of time. They got teenagers, pretty much, right? So
yeah,
do you kind of use that analogy when you're talking to
yeah.
your members?
Well, Jimmy, the reason we say it's like raising a child is because the first place that a business starts, and you notice when you came up with this idea for this podcast and whatever, whatever idea, business, other businesses that you knew start, because we don't just start one business, right? We
No.
all then been
Yeah.
down this entrepreneurial road a couple times, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about it, right, the first thing is that gestation process. It's that birthing process, right? First, it's in my heart, right? It's in my belly,
Yeah.
right? That's where it kind
Yeah.
of starts. So,
Yeah.
and I like to what I tell folks is that, that means that you need to find somebody to help you push. That's the first thing, right?
No doubt.
You gentlemen have been, may have been there in that birthing
Oh,
room,
I have.
and Jimmy said I have, right? And helping your wife to
Yes.
push, right?
Yeah.
And so,
No doubt.
that's how it is when that first business is, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to get it to where you would hope what you envision. So help them getting somebody to help you to push. And then there's those terrible twos where that business is just, child, it is all over the place. It's just doing whatever it wants. It's running me. I ain't running it. It's running me. Right? That's the terrible twos, right?
Yeah.
And then you get those tween years where you got some growth and things are looking pretty good,
Yeah.
and it's starting to grow. But when you a teenager, you get a little hard headed times,
Yeah.
right? You want to do your own thing. So it's like, teenage years. And so that's what we mean when we say it's like raising a child, because your business is your baby.
Yeah.
And it goes through those stages, just like,
Yeah.
like child rearing. It goes through those stages.
Yeah. I mean, at time we know all about that, don't we, bro? I mean,
Yes.
from starting a
Yes.
radio station to building a
Yep.
Yeah.
podcast, like we know all about them babies we
Yep.
done given birth to, and
Yep.
you got to nurture them, you got to feed them,
There you
you got to
go.
take care of them. There's some details in them that you might slip up when they're younger, but you got to get back on them when they're older. So I,
That's
I
right.
definitely, I definitely can relate. Now,
Yep.
And
you
just
know,
like with children, you have to adapt and adjust too.
That's
exactly,
it. That's
Ty,
You have
right.
to
That's
adapt
right,
and
Ty.
adjust.
exactly.
You have
Yeah,
to. You
I
have to
mean,
adapt and adjust.
adapting and adjusting is part of the game. It's part of being a parent, and it's definitely part of being a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like how you use the word founder, and I
Mm.
mean, I'll ask that question later, but just how I'm big on words, right? I'm big on definitions of words. People know that about
Jimmy's a
me.
wordsmith. I can
I
tell.
am.
He's a
I'm a
words. He's a
lyricist and a
wordsmith.
wordsmith. I'm all about words, right? So I mean, one of my things about it was I was like, founder is such a better word than business owner or boss, or because many times we clarify these things, we put them in categories, and then they kind of put a box on them. You know, I find that you being a founder of something is more relevant than you
Mm,
being a owner. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
think in different sectors we use the words, we take these words and we just use them willy-nilly, but I think defining founder is definitely more important. It makes you feel different when you have a founder than an
Mm,
owner. You know what I
yeah.
mean? People hear owner, they're just like, yeah, I don't like the owner. Somebody say I'm a founder, like, you found this for real, like, let's talk about, it's a different, it's a relatable kind of, let me bring you into my world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really digging that. I just had to say that. I didn't want to change it, but I
Jimmy's
just had
like,
to say I love the founder.
yeah.
Now, I wanted to bring you on today because you have an event coming up soon, and I wanted to make sure that we broadcasted that and talked about it, give you enough time to talk about it before the event happens, because I feel personally that there are so many entrepreneur, or should I say mompreneurs out there, that need to know about this event, that need to come, because you might have a business. You might have a business now. You might think about starting one, and you need to come to this event. So, Miss Tanya, tell us about the event you have coming up later on in March.
So we have an event coming up in partnership with One Philadelphia that is called Elevate, and it is 5 talks for women in tech. It's celebrating Women's History Month. We're going to have, and actually, Mom Your Business is curating a wellness lounge where we're going to have 6 of our mompreneurs are going to have. We have, who do we have? We got facials. You're gonna have facials and massage chairs and good snack, a couple snacks. Now, some when I asked one of my vendors to come, she asked me, is the brother that did the back in the black going to be? I said, well, it wasn't up to me. I was asked to be a part of this event, so I didn't get to pick the brother that did the Back in the Black that goes by Major Flavors. He's always my first choice, but they went with somebody else. So, I had to break it to him gently, Jimmy, that Major Flavors was not going to be in the building, but there will be some food there. There'll be some drinks. But again, it's going to be some great talks, and it's not just about, like I had a lady, talk about technology, but we're going to also, because technology is moving so fast, and women are not really coming into that space as we should. So it's going to be an opportunity to talk to some of the founders. We have a couple founders that are in tech that will be there. I have a young lady that created an app that is like a financial planner and financial advisor in the palm of your hand. I have a young lady that created an app that is for those in the medical field to track their continuing education credits. And then Stephanie, who was the MC for the event that Ty did for us, she'll be a part of that. And we're going to honor some other ladies that are in this space. So we're going to really, really have a really great time again. And then the Wellness Lounge is an opportunity to kind of network and connect with one another, even if you may not be in the tech space. It's just a good opportunity to come out and celebrate Women's History Month.
No doubt. And it is Women's History Month. And we're talking to a woman who is making history in her own right. And, that is profound. I think you're right. The tech industry itself kind of seems so far from us, like our reach in a sense. And I don't know whether that's done on purpose. Because we're very inventive. I think if we had the tools and if someone allowed us to get the resources, we would be way further ahead. But I want to make sure that any of the women out there that are starting businesses or in businesses right now make it out to this event, because it's vital. It's not just about whether you're in tech. It's about networking. It's about being around like minds.
Yes.
It's about, it's about just surrounding yourself with a different energy while you're on this journey of starting or growing your business.
Yes.
And, I definitely, that's why it was important for me to say that, because we need to go to these things, man. We need to be there. Like what's going on? Like we need to be in the building, because that's how we get further. We can't do it with anybody else. We got to do it with ourselves. So
this is one of the things that I talk about with folks all the time, Jimmy and Ty. It's so important to be in the room. We can't talk about not having opportunities and not nobody not knowing what our business is and what we're doing and how we're growing it and what we need, the resources that we need to help us if we're not in the room.
Right.
It's important to always, when you see opportunities, get in the room. You have to get in the room in order for people to identify and know what your needs are and be able to support you and help you.
That's real. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back with Miss Tanya T. Morris. Mom, your business. She is killing it. As always, Ty dropping bars, letting us know about what's going on with the organization. And make sure you make out to her event. Can you, Miss Tanya, can you do me a favor? Can you tell everybody again the name of the event, the date of the event, and where it's going to be?
Yep, it is called Elevate 5 Talks for Women in Tech. It's going to be on Thursday, March the 23rd at Quorum, 3675 Market Street. Starts around 3:30, 4 o'clock, runs into 7. We got a cocktail hour after, a little after party afterwards. We're going to just have we're just going to have a good time. I'm telling you, come through. Just come through.
That's what I'm saying. Most times we go out, we want to just party and have a good time. And go out, have a good time and grow your business at the same time.
Yes. I'm the queen of partying with a purpose. I believe in partying with a purpose.
A double P, partying with a purpose. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about. Well, listen, fam, we're going to be right back. Remember, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. This is Jimmy Bonds Podcast on Philadelphia Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Michael from Abu Dhabi. Listen to Jimmy Bonds Podcast on Philadelphia Radio.
Welcome back to the Jimmy Bonds Podcast on Philadelphia Radio. We thank you for listening. Remember, family, you can call us at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And welcome back to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Philadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And again, family, we are continuing our dialogue, our conversation with Miss Tanya T. Morris of Mom Your Business. She is killing it, giving us advice, letting us know about all the things that she's doing with her organization. I always find it very fascinating just how people start things and where they are and just the journey that they take. And I read somewhere that one of the things that someone wrote about you was that you could talk about growing up in North Philly like it's a Netflix series. You know, we over here in West. You from North, so you know, growing up in North Philly back then is a whole different monster than even what it is today. And you know, I wanted to touch on that because where we grew up is our foundation.
Yes.
It's our not just our upbringing, but it's how we kind of catapult to being adults and to being the next people we're supposed to be. And you know, I always want to touch on where you come from because that's who makes you who you are. And I read a lot about some of the women in your life that had such an influence for you as a young child. So can you share, just give us a little synopsis of what that was like growing up in North Philly?
Yeah, it's funny because we're actually looking at a building in North Philly, and I feel like I'm going home. I live in West now, but I feel like I'm going home. And I was telling one of my board members, we went to do a site visit, and I said, listen, my aunt lived around the corner from where we're looking at our building about to be, and was doing hair in her house, right? Making pies and doing all those things that we know so many women to do. And then, my Uncle Tony, I tell people this all the time, that's where I got my entrepreneurial spirit from. He was a computer repair man. He was an insurance man. We started a videography business together. I mean, that's where I got my entrepreneurial spirit from. And so, growing up in North Philly, to your point, Jimmy, that's what makes me, that is part of, it is, North Philly is as much a part of me as anything. I mean, living in West Oak Lane, and I was telling a friend of mine this the other day, right? When we look at some of the things we see happening with our young people today, and you often wonder, we're so lacking in community, because I couldn't even be outside at a certain time without Miss Johnson asking me why you ain't in the house, or Miss Holiday seeing me and telling me, ask me why am I doing X, Y, and Z, and who you with. Like, it was just so different when we had real community. And even today I had an opportunity to talk to the William Penn Foundation, and I talked to them about leaders building community and communities building leaders, and that's what's so missing today, is that as our community building people up to be leaders, and then leaders building communities. And so that's how we continue to kind of metastasize leadership when we build it from the inside out, when we build communities in that way. And so, that's one of the things. Philly is a city of neighborhoods, right?
Yes.
Whether you say you from down the bottom, whether you say from West Oak Lane, or Mount Airy, or whatever, you just from Somerville, whatever, it don't even matter. We're community and neighborhoods, and we cling to that, and it shapes us and makes us into who we are.
That's dope. Ty, go ahead, man.
Now, Ms. Morris, Mom Your Business is growing, and you have several programs. Can you enlighten us on some of the programs that you have available?
Yeah, so we like I talked about Founders to Funders earlier. That's our signature, our flagship program, which is our Business Accelerator program. It's 8 weeks, and then you get another 90 days of one-on-one coaching, right? Because what we found from our first cohort was that the 8 weeks wasn't enough. They wanted more, right? So after the 8 weeks of education, they get an additional 90 days of coaching to kind of monitor them and support them as they continue to go through their journey of growth. And so then we have our mentors, music and munchies, which is like a speed mentoring, networking kind of thing. And it is just what it sounds like: music and mentoring, and a little bit of grub, and just doing like some speed mentoring, some coaching. And so we added a pitch competition to that. So now we also have businesses get an opportunity to pitch their business for a chance to win some money. We'll be doing one on Saturday, March the 18th at the Link Studio downtown at 213 Arch Street. So they come, they pitch, and we're going to give away, we'll give away a little bit of change. We'll give away a little bit of change, up to about $2,000. We try to give away every time we do that. And then we just now launched a business technical assistance program. Small businesses typically need to focus on 3 areas, which are operations, cybersecurity, and digital marketing. We added cybersecurity to that program because, as you all know, the threats are just, every day, you see some spam. Or I was watching the news last night, and they were saying how they're putting these little mini cameras inside the ATM, where you put your in there, and that's how they skimming that. Like, so it's just we have to be vigilant. So we added the cybersecurity piece as a part of technical assistance. A colleague of mine, Nefertiri Strickland, is a cybersecurity expert. She's a certified hacker. She does communications for the U.S. Army, and she's been preaching to me since we met about how small businesses are not taking security serious enough to protect their product, their clients' information, all of those things. And so we put together a cybersecurity piece as a part of that technical assistance, to help folks, to show them how to keep their information secure and protected, and then give them recommendations on other ways that they can continue to do that. So the technical assistance is our newest program, and we're really excited about that. And then digital marketing is the other part of that. So they get a 90-day digital marketing campaign also.
Now, is all of this part of the Mom Your Business toolkit? Because I found that interesting. Toolkit.
Yeah, that's not the toolkit is really like a little, I like to call it like a little starter pack, right? Just kind of, something that we just put together to kind of give people some early on resources that kind of help them along their way. There's some Facebook groups in there. There's some different resources that they can access to find funding. There are some little things to kind of start somebody that's probably in business or starting their business, kind of figure out where they can begin to get some tools and some resources, and some tips. We put a few tips in there as well to kind of help them figure out some ways to support, get some support in growing their business.
Okay, JB.
One of the things that I'm always big on is, people in business, a lot of times they look at Shark Tank and they're like, this is how you get it. This is it. Let me go pitch so I can get on Shark Tank and let me show you how let me get on here. But the problem is that a lot of times when you get these fundings from these VCs, and I love the way how you abbreviated that. VCs are venture capitalists or venture capital, right? Can you kind of give us a difference? What is the difference between a venture capitalist versus what it is Moms Your Business does? Like, what is the difference?
Well, so venture capitalists are people that invest money into a business looking for a long-term return, sometimes 5x, sometimes 10x return on their investment. We do what's called non-diluted capital, which means it's not a loan, it's not VC, so we're not looking for the money to be returned to us. It is there's no catch, meaning non-dilutive, there's no catch. So when you come to one of our pitch competitions, or if you're in Founders to Funders and you get an investment through that, that is non-diluted capital that is designed really to just kind of give folks a little help to address some small need in their business. So that's that's really the primary difference. But there's so many different ways to get capital, Jimmy. There's CDFIs, which is a community development financial institution, which a lot of people aren't taking full advantage of. CDFIs offer better rates than a typical bank loan. They also are not looking for, they tend to lend based on character more than on collateral than a typical bank does, because they're in the business and they're looking, not that the money is free, it is a loan in most cases, but they are looking really to support businesses in a very unique way. So there's a couple of CDFIs, successful CDFIs here in the city of Philadelphia. One black-led one is West Philadelphia. It's called Vested In. That's led by Jim Burnett. There's also the Women's Opportunities Resource Center. They've been around for decades. I actually worked for Lynn for a period of time. Entrepreneur Works, the Enterprise Center right over here at 46.
Oh yeah,
Della Clark's company. Yeah, Della Clark's company. They've been lending, for decades as well. So whenever people don't get people need to understand that there are other opportunities to not, because we have a tendency to say, I ain't gonna get no bank loan and just go on about our business and just be like, that's the end of it. But there are other ways out here to access capital. And one thing I tell our founders all the time, the best capital is revenue.
Yes.
Go make the money.
Yes.
Go make the money.
Have that money come
Revenue
in.
is the best. There you go. Revenue is the best form of capital.
Yes. No, that's real. That's real. Ain't that right, Ty? And money talks, they say, right? I'm gonna be quiet. I'll let the money just sit right there. Go ahead and talk for me, right? One of the things that I wanted to find out too, in a lot of ways, we really shed light on success. As people, that's what we do. We see what people do and we're like, look how successful they are. What have been some of the challenges your founders have come to you with? And what has Mom Your Business done to combat those challenges? It doesn't have to be even a financial thing. It could be life. You know what I mean? What are some of the challenges that you're hearing out there?
Oh man, listen, everything that we go through in life. I mean, I've had founders, sick and not able, to even get up and go to their business or do their business a particular day. So health challenges. I had a founder that's recently is going through a nasty divorce, not just a regular plain old you go your way, I go mine, but a nasty divorce, right? And so trying to navigate those situations. I have a founder right now that's at the largest organic food show in the country out in California. Right now, she has a medical condition, but she also didn't have the resources that she needed to get the collaterals to take with her. So we were able to help her with getting those collaterals, the sales sheets, tablecloths, getting her order forms together. She called me like 7:00 this morning. Like, how do I do this stand and set this thing up on the table thing? I'm like, Lord have mercy. It's 7:00 in the morning, and which means it's 4:00 out there in the West Coast. But these are the kinds of calls that I get to be like this, the littlest thing. So, but we, again, this is I would not take that call because I told her she got to come back with a purchase order. You got to come back with a purchase order. So she has 2 meetings, one with Sprouts, one with Whole Foods. She makes a milk that's made from tiger nut, which is a nut in only found in Africa.
Amen.
And this is a nut that they use to make milk from. So she's going into, obviously, into that almond milk, into that space, which is very competitive. But I told her she got to come back here with a purchase order because she's driven me literally to drink. So, so same everyday challenges that we all face, and how to navigate life and business. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's all about
yeah,
navigating life and business.
yeah. I mean that is, people don't take that into consideration a lot of times, that there are so many things that can get in the way of you operating your
Yep,
business, not just money, but
that's
money,
right.
family, health,
Yeah,
um, psyche. And one of
yep.
the things that I really thought was important was, I was reading one of your testimonials, and one of the things the young lady said was that she said that you gave her confidence. You gave her confidence. And I think that a lot of times, particularly in business, there's so much doubt that comes into our mind. There's just doubt. We just sometimes believe that, yeah, like you said, who's anybody gonna give us no money? But sometimes you have to have the confidence to walking in that joint being like, look, you're gonna give me this money, okay? And you better,
That's right.
and let me tell you why you're gonna give me this money. You have to be
That's right.
confident in it. And how have you helped some of your founders with their confidence, like just confidence in their own product by itself?
Yeah, that's huge, Jimmy. That's a great question because so many folks, they know they have something, but they're not sure the potential of really what it could be. And so I have a pretty good idea which founder you're talking about, who has done well. Monique has done really, really well for herself, but she couldn't talk. She was afraid to talk to VCs. She was afraid, to talk to them. And so we try to really, communicate, with them first. Let's look at the product and let's really focus on the benefits of the product or service that you have first,
Hmm.
and selling your story first around that. And one of the things that we really got to learn to do, you got to just tell your story.
You
You
do.
got to tell your origin story, and where this came from. Like, even I just interviewed a young lady on our podcast named Nikki Murkison, who created an app to match people who are interested in being home buyers, that they could buy a house together. They have the same goals, same interests, and and when she tells the story, it's like, she's been in the co-living. She owns a co-living space in Brooklyn, and she said she was sitting there and she was thinking about, well, what if somebody was looking for a house and they could do it like you do with a date net? Like, what? Like, the brilliance of that. Like,
Brilliant.
just the
Yes.
sheer brilliance of
Yeah.
putting those two, real estate and a date net, putting those two things there, just the sheer brilliance of that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Nikki, that's just brilliant, right? And so you have to be able to, help folks connect those dots to tell that powerful story of the origin story of that product or service, which is really what it is.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest thing in business is, a lot of times people don't buy your product, they buy you.
That's
They buy
right.
who you are. If they trust you and they believe in you, they're gonna buy you. And I mean, I'm not saying buy you in the sense of own you as property. I'm saying they're buying into what they believe of who you are. And for me,
Yes.
that I think that's a vital tool in business that they might not teach in business school. You might not learn that in business 101, or you get your business degree. They might just, you might be going through the accounting and all that, the accounts receivable and the debts and the credits. You might learn all of that, but who you are as a person sells more than
That's
anything
right.
else. That's what I was taught. That's what I've known from the beginning. So, I mean, you hitting it right there on the nail. You got to sell that origin story.
Yep.
Tell them who you are. Particularly,
That's it.
particularly how Black women. You said they're brilliant.
Yes.
Black women are some of the most inventive people I have ever seen in my life. Ty got a mama. He know some of the most inventive people I've ever seen in my
Yes.
life can rub two nickels together and make magic. Do you hear what I'm telling you?
That's it.
So
That's
it's,
it.
you know, and they don't have the resources that people have. They just out there being like, I gotta make it happen, and this is what I'm gonna do. And the determination and the will, and not that men don't, not that black men don't have the same. It's just different with black women. Okay, it's just a whole
Mhm.
different ballgame. I can go on a tangent with this, and I don't want to because I really I love it. You know what I mean? I love my mama. God rest her soul, but I've seen her do some crazy things, right?
Seem to do
But
magic. Mhm.
you know, like I said, black woman magic, exactly. You know, I just believe that our past tells our future. That's just my
Yes.
belief. You know, that's just how I feel about it. Um, you know, Ty, go ahead. We're gonna take a quick break, but Ty, I want you to get one more question before we take a break, bro.
Okay. Um, where do you see Mom Your Business in 5 years from now, Miss Morris? I mean, you've come a long way from the
Ooh.
beginning, and I know it's just growing and growing.
Yeah.
And I
Five
know you're
more
going through some
years. I'll
challenges.
have
Yeah.
a we'll be 10 years in 5 more years. We just celebrated
Amen.
5 years last year. We'll be 10.
Yeah.
That means we'll be 10 years old. We'll be on the brink of a preteen, right? We'll be a
Breathe.
tween, and we'll be a tween in the business. In my business terminology, we'll be tweening. And
Yes.
one thing is I know we will have a state of the art co-working space, a hub for women to be able to come that's a safe space for them to start and grow their business. State of the art. I believe we'll have multiple locations by then. Somebody else will be the executive director by then, whose name won't be Tanya T. Morris, because running uh I'll be running First Market Ventures, which is our venture capital fund and impact fund that we started in partnership with Women's Way and Zenith Wealth Partners. It's a $10 million fund now that we're hoping to, by then we should be on fund two by then
Yeah.
and investing
Yeah.
and catalyzing even more black women businesses. So that's what I'm hoping for. And by year 10, that is my hope.
I love it. That's gangster. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it. Now, I was gonna say something. I was like, yo, you've been grinding for a minute. You've been at this
Yeah.
for this ain't no, yesterday. I started yesterday. No, she's been doing this for. I mean, Mom, Your Business started in 2017. She started another organization in 2021. Family. She's been at this for many years, probably over 2-3 decades, doing this nonprofit, helping people do their thing, get to where they want to be. And I'm gonna take a quick break. I got so many more questions I want to ask because
Okay.
I just find it to be so fascinating and enlightening as well as inspiring. Everything that you're doing. So, family, listen, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back. I promise. We're gonna take a quick break. Remember, you can call us with your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Listen to the Jimmy Bonds podcast on Philadelphia Radio, the indie station for the indie nation. We'll be right back.
Indie station for the indie nation.
Hey, this is Megan from Abu Dhabi. Listen to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Everyday Fair Radio.
The drama is the illest on Philadelphia Radio. What up?
Welcome back. And welcome back to Jimmy Bond's podcast, family, at Philadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you call us with your comments or questions at 844-844-1244. Again, it's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. And again, family, we are continuing our conversation with Miss Tanya T. Morris. She is doing her thing, letting us know about Mom Your Business, an organization that helps founders start and grow their business, particularly Black female founders, but really female founders that are of our hue, Black and brown people. You know how we do, family. But she has dropped a lot of knowledge to us about some things, and as in our third segment, this is something I wanted to ask. I gotta ask because because I'm a dude. I gotta ask, right? So, in my view, right, I find it that men kind of take advice and tutelage, particularly black men, from women a lot better than they would from men. Particularly because some women have that mother figure in them. And if you know anything about black men, we listen to our mamas. We listen to our mamas. Our mamas be the key. Mom say don't do something, you don't do it. But I find it that you have that hook. Is there any time in the future where you're thinking about working with dadpreneurs, shall I say?
Well, let me say this: we don't turn the brothers away. We do not turn the brothers away.
Listen, don't say that because I'll be in the building. Like they say they ain't gonna turn me away. I can be here. I can be here. Okay.
we had Jimmy said I could be here. She said you was that's funny. Why Jimmy will make me laugh? That's just oh my goodness, that's so funny. No, but we don't turn the brothers away. The matter of fact, our technical assistance program is open to everyone, actually. So we have a couple brothers that have actually signed up for that. So we don't turn the brothers away. We're gonna, if we can't help you, we're gonna point you in the direction of somebody who can. That has
Listen,
been,
I mean,
that has been my words.
but see, that's the thing. Because I mean, I sit here with Ty all the time. Ty look at me, I look at him, be like, bro, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? We got to raise some money. All right, we gotta get some money up. Blah blah blah. And it's not easy for us. We don't have a dad your business somewhere. You know what I mean? Particularly in the black community, a lot of times we just think we get on the internet, we can read something, but there aren't people who we can connect with that maybe has our experience or understands where we're coming from, or our backgrounds, that can kind of steer us in the right direction. Like, hey, try this. You know what I mean? I have this person you need to talk to. Go talk to this person. Or I have this organization that will assist you and go do that. Those are the tools and the resources you provide to the mompreneurs that mom your business. And I'm not saying it's not out there or there aren't organizations similar to yours for men, but they ain't trying to jumping out there like that. They're not, hey, look, we here, come get us. You know what I mean? They are kind of scarce. And I find that in a lot of ways for black men, we kind of get stuck like, all right, well, I guess we just gonna have to figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's for me, that's what I'm like. I'm trying to I'm trying to learn. They teach me. I need to learn. I need to grow some. I need to get some donations popping. I need to get it. You know what I mean? And that's for me. That's what I'm asking these questions because I'm like, I'm not the only one thinking this. I know I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only brother out there like, I got a great idea. All I need is some proper tutelage and some funding, and I'll be right where I need to be. I won't have to work this job, this 9 to 5 all the time. I might be able to work part-time. I might be able to quit this job. And a lot of times us as black people, we have a cap on us. Not because of the fact of we're mentally capped. It's when you're working in an organ or a company, a corporate world, they put a cap on you. You can only make this amount of money. But in actuality, we're worth so much more than what even the salaries that we have. And I mean, I'm talking about us as a black community, not just men or women. I'm talking about the community itself. And I'm always big on how can we get rid of this cap? And I think the only way to get rid of this cap is to go work for yourself. That's my belief. People might think I'm crazy. I might think I'm far-fetched. But every business that's starting out in this world, every business you wake up to, every time you scroll on your Instagram or Facebook or something, every business has started with an idea.
That's
and
right.
Their idea is their idea is just as good as yours. If yours might be even better. All you need is the tools and the resources. And if you don't have them or you don't know where to get them, I definitely invite you to go see Mom Your Business. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my spew. That's how I feel. That's what I'm signing to. Okay. My bad. I can go in on the tangent about this thing. I told you I deal with business all day. I deal with business owners, black women all day, and I see them, and they looking at me like, all right, so how do I get this done? What do I do? I'm sitting there like saying to myself right now, like I need to send you right over to Mom Your Business. And I guarantee you gonna get what you need. I'm just saying. All right.
I got a call today from a friend of mine. She said, "Listen, and she's got adult children like mine. I always laugh when people say, she's the mother. I have to update my resume so it can say the mother of twin men, because people think Jeremy and Isaiah are still cute. They ain't cute no more. They still mine, but they ain't cute no more. But but a friend of mine called me today, and she was like, "Look, my daughters, they over here starting these businesses, and they ain't going nowhere with them." And I'm trying to tell them that she runs a company. She's not. It's not that she's not an entrepreneur. She is, but she's like, listen, I'm gonna need you to come do a boot camp or something, right? To help them to get their stuff together, because they not listening to me. Right, they
Nah.
not listening to me, and a lot of times folks just need they need a different voice, right? They just really do just need a different voice. And so we're gonna put together a boot camp. And it's funny because we were like, she said, Tanya, these people ain't got no long attention span, so you ain't gonna be able to have them. It ain't gotta be all day boot camp. We need them for about 2-3 hours. she said we need to put them together for like 2-3 hours. I was like, okay, Natasha, no problem, I got you. I was like, I got you. But a lot of times folks just need a different voice. They just really just need a different voice. Need somebody to say it to them a little differently. And this is what I told her. I said, because when I'm done, they're gonna be like, man, I think my mom said that to me last year or 6 months ago. Right? Y'all know how we feel, right?
Yeah.
Like you can sit right, Ty, you sit right now and be like, man, I know my mom said that to me back in the day, but I'm not, So that's that's the thing. You gotta so a lot of times people just need a different voice. We want to try to be that other voice to kind of help them.
Yeah, voice of reason, as I say. Voice of, you better listen to me, because I'm going to tell you what's right. All right, I'm real with it. Tie my bad. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I know you got some more, man.
Miss Morris, what are some of the stories that you hear from women that are trying to start their business, but they're struggling, and what advice do you give them?
Well, I've heard everything from, I don't, this is my favorite. And this is my favorite right here. I don't want nobody to steal my idea. That's my favorite. That one right there. That's my favorite, right? Because and I'll be like, in my mind, I'll be like, girl, ain't nobody thinking about you really like that. In my mind. In my mind, that's what I be saying. Y'all got this now. Y'all got me recorded now. So there's some of folks like, oh, that's why her face looked like that when I said that to her, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, and then on the other hand, there's some of them I'm thinking, what God has for you is for you. So nobody can't take nothing from you. And then it's about showing them how to put things in place to protect your idea, right? And so, like right now, one of the first things I did when I started Mom Your Business, it was even before I knew completely what we were going to do, I went and got a trademark.
No doubt.
Because I knew that the name was dope, right? And I ran and got a trademark. And so you got to be willing to put those things in place to protect your idea. But this whole that whole, I don't want to tell nobody. I'm just like, girl, please, y'all tell everything else. We tell everything. Can we just be honest? Can I just be honest with the brothers for a second? We tell everything. But when it comes to talking about Jimmy said we know. When it comes to talking about your business, now you want to keep it to yourself. Girl, please.
That's real, though. That's real. That's that black trauma right there.
That's that black trauma right there. Like, seriously, bro, stop. Come on. I can't help you if you're not going to talk to me. So I don't play those games. Like, I don't play those games. If you're not going to tell me what the real issue is, if we can't get to the nitty-gritty, then I can't help you. I really can't help you. So that's one of the things I hear, Tyler. That was one of the stories is that, that whole I somebody's gonna steal it and want to keep it to myself. That whole thing. Then I got a young lady right now who's got a patented product. Patent. She's got a patent. Then done the work to get a patent, and still afraid to get an investor. Like I'm like, and so she got a matter of fact, she got a random email just the other day. Just the other day, got an email the other day from Shark Tank. Wanted her to come and audition.
Wow.
I don't know, Miss Tanya, because you know how I am about investors. I didn't even reply back to the text message because I don't have time for that. I didn't even reply back because I don't. I'm like, girl.
Yo,
okay.
Listen, I know. I
Miss
told you
Moore, she can probably do a whole show. She can
That's
do a
Black
whole
Trauma
show
right
on the
there.
stories.
just about that. Just about that.
Yes,
Whole show on the
yes,
stories,
just about
yes.
those. Okay, just about these stories, I could do a whole show. Like
I'm
do you
telling
know
you.
how many people have gone
ask me.
on Shark Tank, and never didn't get an investment, didn't get the exposure alone.
Itself, yes. That is the freest advertisement you could ever get. If they get you on TV, everybody and mama watch Shark Tank have been watching it for years. So if they get you on TV, more than likely, people are gonna see your product. And if they like you, they're gonna buy it.
So you're pitching to everybody that's buying, not just them.
Not just the people, not just those millionaires sitting in front of you, those billionaires sitting in front of you. It's everybody, because even if they don't invest, somebody else might invest. You might have $1 billion $5 investments. That might sound crazy, but I'm saying that people might put their money into it just because they believe in it. And shoot, like you said, women talk. All it takes is a few women to spread the word. That thing will spread like wildfire. You'll be like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute, time out.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll spread.
I mean, I can speak from my own personal experience, things I've seen on there that I went and bought.
Yep.
That I went and bought. Like, oh man, that's dope. That's dope. I have my friend Kelly Beard. They had Joyce's Lulu Bang was a sauce. They were on Shark Tank probably about 2016. I'm thinking maybe probably about 2016. They were on Shark Tank. They didn't get picked up. They didn't think that this, they thought that the space was too crowded, of condiments and that whole thing. To this day, they were in ShopRite for a period of time after the show. To this day, if they rerun that show to this day, they get sales. To this day, if they rerun the show, they get sales. The what's the little the scrub brush thing that was on Shark Tank, the one with the smiley face. I can't think of the name of the product right now. I got one in my bathroom, the scrub brush with the smiley thing. They started on Shark Tank. They done made so many other products now, right? It don't even make any sense. Ken Apparel right now, which is another local young lady, was on Shark Tank last year sometime. Got a deal. Didn't really work out with the particular investor, but she's a marketing genius. Because she's a marketing genius, she's already hit a $1.5 million in sales. Right? So you can't, like Jimmy is saying this, what Jimmy is saying is so right. You couldn't even afford to advertise on ABC.
Yep.
As a small business, you can't even afford to advertise on ABC. You go on Shark Tank, your advertisement is paid for, honey. What are you talking about?
And you don't have to ever put out no money in that. That's going to just keep rerunning and keep coming back. And like you said, they got people. If they run an episode again, they're gonna make sales to that day. It doesn't matter. People, like I said, people love you. They see you on Shark Tank. How you get on Shark Tank? Let me find out what her business is, because she on Shark Tank. Let me see what's going on with it. And that's really what it is. Whether the product or business is great or it's not, you get on Shark Tank. That's saying something for yourself, So
that's it.
Definitely. And I always say my biggest thing is the pitch is the hardest part. That's the hardest part. I mean, you know what you do, you know how you do it, but putting together your pitch. And once you get that pitch down, that 2-minute elevator pitch where you can meet somebody in the elevator. Brian told me about this time. You get that 2-minute elevator pitch, and you sit there and you get your pitch. You don't know who you're talking to. but you never know what could come from it. So you get that pitch together. You get it together like verbatim. You memorize it if that's what you need to do, and you spew it whenever you can. So tell me about your business, and you give that pitch. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. That's why I'm not just impressed. I am engulfed with everything that you're doing at Mom Your Business. When Ty first told me about what you were doing, he first told me about the catering. And then people who don't know, okay, I'm gonna just put this out there. Major Flavor Catering is Ty's catering company. If you need some catering, I think you need to holler at Major Flavor. Hey Tanya, can you
Major
co-sign for me on this one?
flavors.
I
Yes.
need you to talk to Ty because this boy is he ain't just
Major
cooking.
flavor. Listen,
He is
I
cooking.
gets in
You know what I'm
trouble. I
saying?
gets in trouble, Jimmy. I told you I gets in trouble if somebody find out I'm having an event and Ty's like this. Like, wait a
Listen,
minute, wait, what's happening? Why is I'm not understanding, Tanya. What's going
listen,
like?
listen.
It's a whole
He told
problem.
me what he told me the other day. What did he tell you, Miss Tanya? He
Yes.
said he made jerk shrimp cabbage. I said, what?
Yes.
Jerk shrimp cabbage?
Yes.
Bro,
There's the
what?
bourbon flank steak, the mac and
What?
cheese,
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Ty.
the jerk cabbage
Yes.
and shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I had the coleslaw potato salad, the seafood paella,
seafood
and
paella.
Now,
Miss
bro,
Morris came up to me. She was like, "Listen, I'm gonna need you for an event that I'm having coming up. All right?" And I was like, "Okay, that's great." And I
Yes,
was like,
sir.
"Wow,
listen,
Yes,
man. Listen,
sir.
and Miss Ty, I gotta thank you for even, helping Ty. Not helping him, but believing in him because I've been told him, I say,
Yeah.
bro, this is what you need to be doing. I'm like, we got the radio station podcast. That ain't going nowhere. But this catering, this corporate catering, bro, this is what you need to be doing, bro. This is what you
yes,
need to be doing. But
Yeah. Listen, I
we're gonna
looked up
get there eventually.
Ty was catering events and I didn't even know. I was like, yo, I
yes,
seen his card sitting at the office. I was like, well, where was I
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
at?
Loving it. But
yes,
Yes,
again, I thank you, Miss Tanya, just for even believing in him. He believes in
yes,
himself. He knows what he can do. He got other
yes, he do.
corporate caterings that he does, but he has come so far with this thing. And like it was an infant, it was a baby at first. He had it in the store, and then he realized, you know what? That brick and mortar, that overhead. Let me cut that overhead. Let me do what I can
Hmm.
do. And he's kicking in rocks. Y'all gonna see more Major Flavor Catering soon. But
Oh,
I just wanted to spew
absolutely.
that. Thank you,
all
Miss
right."
Tanya, for giving me that time with
Yes,
that. But
absolutely.
Miss Tanya, I wanted to ask you, who would you dedicate this podcast to?
Oh, wow. Who would I dedicate this podcast to? Wow, that's a great question. I gotta think. You know, I would
She got a drum
probably.
roll going.
Love it.
I do. I got a whole drum roll going because I'm trying to think. I would probably dedicate this podcast to my Uncle Tony.
Amen.
Like I said, he is, he was my entrepreneurial influence. Like he was the one that I saw grinding and building and growing businesses for as long as I can remember, rehabbing houses and buying developments. And he was an insurance agent. He had a computer repair company, a video production company. Him and I started together. So I would definitely dedicate it to my Uncle Tony.
Amen. Uncle Tony, definitely. Shout out to Uncle Tony. Much love. Definitely appreciate that. Ty, go ahead, man. You got something you want to say before we roll, bro?
Miss Morris, it's been a pleasure this evening talking to you.
Yes.
Mom, I've been taking notes. I've been writing down things. So I'm going right to work after this. I thank you for your knowledge, your experience, and your
Yes.
just talking to us.
Yes, I
And sharing your
appreciate y'all.
story.
I enjoyed it.
Listen, now we gonna when we gonna have a business meeting probably next week. Matter of fact, we're going to the one tomorrow. So we're gonna be probably after the jump, we're gonna be like, all right, Ty, let's get this together because we got some
Miss
business.
Morris said this. Now remember, she said
Yeah,
this. Right
exactly. Which is not on the list, Ty. She didn't say she said this, and we got to follow what's on the list, bro. That's what we got to do. We got to make sure you take them notes. But Miss Morris, I greatly appreciate you coming on tonight. Not just because of the fact of you sharing your story and talking about Mom Your Business and your upcoming event. it's not easy to share all the time. I say that all the time on the podcast. It's not easy to share. And we really appreciate you sharing your story and sharing your knowledge and expertise and what you know about business itself. And, I also want to thank you for what you're doing in the community. Um, because what you're exhibiting is not just about helping people, it's about being a vessel within the community to get people from one place to their next step, to the next place they're supposed to be. And we don't
Yes.
have a lot of that in our community. As you said earlier, our community lacks what was the word you used? Ty, because we heard that word before. Our community lacks community. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm.
what you said. We lack communities. For someone as such as you that are helping our moms out there, and even our dads out there that have businesses, like it's astonishing, it's profound, it's rewarding and refreshing at the same time. So I really appreciate you doing what you do. I know it's exhausting. I know it's tiring. You're human. You got your own life and
Yes.
your own family. You're human. So if no one has ever thanked you, I know they do. I want to make sure I say thank you just for what you do.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. It's always good
For
to
real.
hear. Trust me.
Listen,
It's a because sometimes all the stuff that we all do can seem like a thankless job at times,
yes,
right? So it's
yes. Like
always
somebody
good
they
to
take,
hear
take, take.
somebody say thank you. It's
Yes.
always good to
So
hear somebody
yes.
say thank
I
you.
mean
So
that.
thank
I
you.
mean that. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we gonna end the podcast. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you. Definitely tell us
Mm-hmm.
more. Tell us where they can get the event coming up on the 23rd. I definitely want you to tell everyone that. Please do.
Yeah, please visit us at momyourbusiness.com, MOMYOURBUSINESS.com, on all social media platforms at Mom Your Business. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. I go by the Mentor Mogul on Twitter. TheMentorMogul, the Mentor
Get them.
Mogul on Twitter. And again, March 23rd will be at Quorum, 3675 Market Street, celebrating Women's History Month with five talks for women in tech. Elevate. It's going to be a tremendous, tremendous event. So come on out, connect, learn about the opportunities that exist for women in tech. 27 The tech industry only 27% of the tech industry is are women.
Mm,
27%. So we want to really
mm,
work towards
Mm.
really growing and increasing that number in the tech field. There are great opportunities in tech. So definitely come out and engage with us on that. And if you got a business idea, you might want to come to the pitch competition on the 18th and put your hat in the ring, get an opportunity to win cash. We give away money.
that's
So
what I'm talking about.
come,
Yeah,
you heard Jimmy talk about putting that pitch together. You never know. Come put that pitch together.
that's
Come put
right.
that pitch together and we help you. We give you some tips. We don't just throw you to the wolves. We're gonna give you some tips and show you how to tighten up the pitch a little bit and then pitch.
Yeah.
And again, you can have an opportunity to win some cash. That's on Saturday, March the 18th at the Link Studio, 213 Arch Street at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So a lot going
Amen.
on, a lot
A
going
lot
on.
going on. She's a busy woman. That's why you got to keep up with her.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah,
Excited.
if you check her Instagram, she always putting out reels talking about the tips that you need. So I need you to make sure you check that
Yes.
out.
Oh,
All
Jimmy
right.
didn't check out a couple of my tips too, huh?
Listen. What we say, Ty? We do our research, right? I
Yes.
ain't gonna sit here and be like,
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I got to know who I'm talking to. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Um,
I love that. That's so true, Jimmy. That is so true.
you know. But Miss Tanya, is there anything you want to say before we go? Like just anything any advice you want to
Just
give,
yeah,
any words of
listen,
encouragement?
just thank you so much. You so much for allowing me to talk, gentlemen, especially on International Women's Day. So thank
Yes.
you so much just for that opportunity. And y'all just keep on rocking and rolling. I love what you're doing. I had an opportunity to go I checked you out too, Jimmy. So I went on and went to the IG. I checked you out. Oh yeah. I love what y'all doing. And just keep on, we need platforms like these. They're really, really so important, to have platforms like this where we can come and really share our stories and be 100% authentic. And so I
Amen.
commend you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you. Well, you know, if anybody doesn't know, before we go, we're gonna tell a quick story. I normally tell it all the time. One day Ty called me, told me he's gonna put my music on the radio. I said, Ty, hold on. Wait. I'm not ready for that. You can't put my music on the radio because I don't know what's gonna happen and I'm not prepared for what's gonna happen after that. So we got to talk, and we kept talking some more. Ty said, well, you know, all right, I'm thinking about putting you in the spotlight. Ty, don't put me in the spotlight. All right, just hold on a second. About 2 weeks later, I said, Ty, let me do this. Let's do this. I said, Ty, I want to start a podcast. He said, you know what, Jimmy? I wanted to do one too. I said, well, let's do it. Let's do it. We started recording. It probably was June. We put out our first episode in September 2020, and we ain't looked back since.
Wonderful.
Family, we up to 65 episodes now. So if you ever think that you have an idea and your idea is going to grow, it's not going to stay the same, because what we did in the beginning is not what we do now. If you have an idea and you believe in it, go after it. It's yours. Your future is in that idea. Go after it. Don't worry about it flopping. Don't worry about people not supporting you. Don't worry about how many likes you get on Instagram, how many likes you don't get on Instagram. Keep pushing. It will pay off. That's my advice. That's my word of love to you. I say word of love because I love all of our family. I love all of our listeners who show mad support all the time on a regular basis. They might not know my face, but they know my words. And I think me and Ty have always said that we're going to make an impact in different ways. And I think we're trying and we're doing what we set out to do. So I greatly appreciate anybody listening at all times. So thank y'all so much for listening. Jimmy Bond's podcast on Philadelphia Radio. Remember, family, you can call us with your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. It's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Remember, family, we're still dealing with this COVID situation. So be careful out there. Take your time. Be careful. You know, I know you ain't got to worry about being vaccinated or not vaccinated. Ain't nobody going to hold nothing against you. But just be careful. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, in this life we live, we always have to make sure that we tell our friends and our family that we love them. Because life is short and you might not get another chance. So tell the people that you love them. Call them right now. Say, I love you. I miss you. You mean a lot to me. Let them know. All right. Much love to all the family out there. Much love to all the listeners. Jimmy Bonds, Ty Money, Miss Tanya T. Morrison. Thank you for joining us again. We out, family. Y'all be good out there. Much love to you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Fam, that's going to wrap the show. We want to thank you for listening to Jimmy Bond's podcast on Philadelphia Radio. We ask you to leave your comments and questions at 844-844-1244. Again, that's 844-844-1244. You can also email us at jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's jimmybondspodcast@gmail.com. That's JIMMYBONDS podcast@gmail.com. Now remember, family, we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic, so please remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, and practice social distancing. Also, remember to take nothing for granted and value every opportunity you have with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. For in these times, every moment is sacred. So until the next episode, you can find me on Good Hope Road, screaming, stay up, don't sleep in your dreams. I'm Jimmy Bonds, and I'm out.
Fight on, come on.